Good morning. My name is Father Rayappa. I am from the village called Ekatupadi near Vellore town from South India. Today I'm going to talk about something very, very strange for Indian people. It is very difficult for 125 crore Indian people. That is silence. Silence. I'm not meaning silence is the absence of something. Actually, it is the presence of everything. Many people say silence is the best form of communication. In silence, you can send your message effectively. Actually, Mother Teresa talks about it. So I'm going to read the quote of Saint Mother Teresa on silence. Let me begin reading her quote. I quote, "We need to find God, and He cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass grows in silence. See the stars, the moon and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls." Not in India. The noise pollution in India has gone too extreme. Everywhere noise. You stay in your home, want to sleep, the neighbor blasts his sound equipments or the public radio, and somebody celebrates some festival every day. For a nation who has 125 crore people, come on, every minute is a celebration. So that is what's going on. Every family wants to celebrate and put the horns, the sound horns, and they make noise. It's not for music, it's a noise. It's a violence. It's a violence perpetrated on humans and other parts of creation. Imagine the old people, 70, 80 years old. Imagine also the newborn kids, children, and just their eardrums are forming stage. When you hear like 100, 125 decibel sound, the baby will grow up to be deaf. The old people stress and anxiety increases. All forms of sickness comes because of noise pollution. Research clearly shows that if you can reduce and able to live in silence, that is the way to attain human health, the quality of human health. But it is strange for Indians. Villages, take the churches and temples. Every day, early morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Each religion screams out their faith. They should scream loud in their hearts, not in the microphone or sound horns. And there are 3, 4 religions at the same time, they sound music, they play music. The poor people can't even understand what's going on. Only noise. All our sound systems, they don't produce music, they produce irritating noise. And you go to church inside, screaming. Screaming. Every instrumentalist want to blow his own instrument, isn't it? Keyboard full volume, guitar full volume, percussion like tabla, my God. Singers, they have to come out of it, they have to rise above all this instrumental competition, and then they have to scream out too. Singers, they don't have choice. They have to scream out. And the poor people in the church, they pay a heavy price. They are the collateral damage. We don't find peace there. Certainly no. When we come back, we come back more burdened. When we went there, we were light, but when we come back, burdened. Prophet Amos screams in the chapter 5, you read it. I hate your noises. I hate your songs and lullabies. They are irritating my ear. And get out of my temple. That is what the Lord says. Such an irritating celebration. Baal worshipping in the Old Testament. That's a beautiful story. They were screaming for their gods, but the God didn't come. But our prophet Jonah, he prayed, and the God answered his prayers in silence. Again, Mother Teresa, quote, want to read it for you. I quote, we need to find God, and he cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass grows in silence. See the stars, the moon, and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls. Mahatma Gandhi understood that. He screamed against British people in the early part of the 20th century. And he did everything. He wrote in the magazines, and he talked on stage, and he went on hunger strike, and he walked in the streets and screamed and tried to awaken the Indian people, but nothing worked. At last, he told, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to start an ashramam, which came to be known as Sabarmati Ashram. And he settled there. He retired there. In silence. He never talked. The British people came to persuade Mahatma Gandhi, talk. But he never talked. He practiced the vow of silence. Now British Empire was disturbed. While he was talking, British Empire could understand what this old man was up to. But now he doesn't talk. Maybe he's brooding a sinister plan on England, on the Queen. So everybody was afraid and they were concerned and came and asked, talk Mahatma, talk Mahatma. But he told no. And you know very well, then he started that last Dandi march, the salt satyagraha from Sabarmati Ashram, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And then he walked almost southwest. He had to walk about almost 300 plus kilometers, 320 or 30 kilometers. Took him almost 15 or 20 days. At last he reached Dandi, and then he picked up the salt. Because the British people, they made a law that Indian people cannot make salt. So Mahatma Gandhi thought that is really crazy, because salt, everybody needs it, and it is in the sea, it is free, and anybody can take it. How come British people can monopolize the salt? So he told, let us disobey, but not by talking, but in silence. So at last, his silence paid off. And, you know, Lord Mountbatten, I think he gave the happy news to Mahatma Gandhi that India would be free next year or another 10 years. So that is the thing what we read in history. And silence, the power of silence is so beautiful. And Jesus also extols the power of silence in the meeting of Mary, Martha, Lazarus in Bethany. You know, Mary was sitting at his feet and listening in silence, only silence. But Martha in the kitchen talking all the time. And Jesus says, Martha, Martha, Come on, you worry about so many things, but look at Mary in silence. She selected a better part. Jesus appreciates silence. Mary of Nazareth, she tried everything like Mahatma Gandhi, talked, argued with God and so on, and with the angel and everything, and with Elizabeth and with the neighbors. And she also sang a beautiful song, Magnificat. She was talking, talking, trying to sort out things, but at last she fell into silence. The Bible states that Mary treasured all these things in her heart. In other words, Mary remained silent. So, very hard to be silent. Very hard to be silent. And I think we can learn from Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation. And I think every Indian should be like Mahatma Gandhi. Silence. Don't make noise in your house. Don't make noise in public places, especially in the bus. That is another disaster. The private buses, my God. You go there and you can't even sit and read or talk or sleep. Every song is also motivated sexually. The lyrics are so bad, and the music is so bad, and the bus is so bad, and people, not even one person realizes that he is blasted with a huge noise. Everybody is quiet, quiet. Nobody talks. Nobody talks. The private buses, at least they have somewhat uh, decent sound system, but look at government buses. They have maybe 1947 or 42 stereophones or tape recorders. The government buses, they distort. Every music director should sue every government bus corporation for damaging their songs, for distorting their songs. The beautiful songs they take and put it in this damn Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan tape recorders, and they blast only noise. I used to listen film music, but now I don't listen them anymore because after listening music from the government buses, I lost the taste of every music. They killed my soul. What are we going to do about it? And it should start from the families. People should teach in the school, and the people should talk about it, and let us talk to the public about it, talk to the politicians about it, try to make a law about it, and enforce the law. So that is what, because Indian people, they don't value democracy. That is sad. We are not ready for democracy because Mahatma Gandhi thought, so we got it. British rule would have been only one choice for India. But today we don't value that. So I think we need to make a law of silence and enforce it in India. So anyway, before I finish this segment, let me quote Mother Teresa. So again, I want to read it for you. We need to find God, and He cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass grows in silence. See the stars, the moon and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch our souls. Have a nice day. Bye.